Imagine being kidnapped by your own friend's father. Trigger warning for graphic content and descriptions. On April 21st, 2003, in Cleveland, Ohio, 16-year-old at the time Amanda Berry was getting ready to go to her work shift at Burger King. Her mom came in and gave her a kiss goodbye, and unfortunately, that was the last time that her mom would ever see Amanda. On her way home from work, Amanda ran into her neighbor and her friend's father, Ariel Castro. Ariel was super familiar to Amanda because he was a school bus driver and, like I said, was the father to one of her close friends. When he offered her a ride home, she didn't think much of it and accepted. Before dropping her off, Ariel offered Amanda to come inside to their home and say hi to his daughter, which Amanda agreed to. Once inside of his home, Ariel said that his daughter was in the shower, so that he was just going to give her a house tour until she got out. This is when Amanda noticed a strange woman watching TV, just kind of lifeless, near the basement. But Ariel told her that she was just a woman who was renting the room. He then brought Amanda down to the basement because he wanted to show her something down there. But once she was down there, she noticed the room was completely dark, the windows had been covered, and everything was pretty unsettling. This is when she really got uneasy, but unfortunately by this point it was way too late. Ariel demanded her to pull her pants down and then chained her by the stomach to the walls. He then tied her limbs together with duct tape. This was the moment that Amanda realized that woman that she saw earlier was also being held captive. Amanda started screaming for help, but this is when Ariel put a motorcycle helmet on her head to mute out her voice. Meanwhile, Amanda's mother, Lawana Miller, was seen constantly on TV pleading for her daughter's safe return. The authorities were in complete shock as to how Amanda completely disappeared without a trace. Search parties and vigils were held in order to find Amanda, which Ariel ended up attending every single one of them, but unfortunately, nothing came about them. Ariel had his own pretty sinister past. His wife would end up divorcing him because he would beat her so severely that she would lose teeth and her nose would break in multiple occasions. And she even reported that to the authorities, as well as the fact that he would tie her down in the basement. Unfortunately, nothing was done with these reports and he was never arrested for those. During captivity, Amanda ended up getting pregnant with Ariel's daughter. They named her Jocelyn, but Jocelyn soon started asking questions when she was old enough as to why her mom was always chained up. So this prompted Ariel to leave her unchained and give her more freedom around the house. Go to part 2 because I have officially run out of time.
This is why staying up past midnight is never a good idea. Reddit user Choice5477 posted this extremely eerie video outside of their window at around 3 a.m.
A woman had left her dog outside for the night when she saw something that was not her dog.
Smiley? Smiley? What?
I would never go outside again. Look at that thing!
What the hell was that? Just in your head. Not real.
My name's Bella. If you are also a fan of the spooky and dark things, hit that plus button and I'll see you.
This man will kill you if you look at him, but the reason why he does it will shock you. Nico Jenkins worships the devil and was sentenced to prison for 10 years at just 18 years old. But a decade later, when he was finally a free man, he saw an opportunity to show the world who he really was. On the very first night he was released from prison, Nico was walking downtown in the streets of Chicago when he noticed this man named George staring at him on a bench across the street. Nico immediately approached George and shot his you-know-what off. George begged for his life for over 10 minutes before Nico finished him off in the head. He then went on to murder 3 more people that night, loving every minute of it. Police arrested him days later, and in 2017, he was sentenced to death. But Nico never died and is still out there today. But you won't believe the real reason why. Hit the pause for part 2.
Is the Earth actually just a simulation? There is a theory that humans are actually way more advanced beings, living in higher dimensional worlds, and that the Earth is actually a training ground, being used to prepare us for the impending disaster in the real world. It says that once the training is completed, we will pass on from this world and join the fight for humanity, even though there are many examples of us living in a simulation. And you can watch the full video by clicking on the link in the description below. Why is no one asking the question?
People are losing their minds over this video where someone is out hunting mushrooms in the forest. Now, as he is looking for these mushrooms in the forest, he's going to be looking down at a mushroom when all of a sudden he hears something crazy in the background. What do you guys think? What the heck is that? Let me know in the comments.
Top 5 urban legends that turned out to be real. The Candy Lady. A woman from Terrell went insane in the late 1800s after her 5-year-old daughter passed away. She was admitted into an asylum, but upon her release, numerous children from the local area went missing. It's said that the woman gained the trust of the young victims by leaving candy on their windowsills and writing notes on the wrappers, convincing them to come outside and play. This is why you should never take candy from strangers. We need a competition of the Candy Lady versus the Candy Man. If you have the guts, follow for the next urban...
What is the story? Who is this lady? Why is everybody so scared of her? The story goes, in 2019, a Serbian news site called Serbia Today reported on a scary viral video in Serbia that shows a woman dancing in the streets at night. The article claims that she chases anyone she encounters with a knife. So if she hears you, if she sees you, if you make your presence known to her, she will chase you with a knife.
Let's talk about Teke Teke. The legend goes there was a young girl who was an office worker in the military. She was then abused, and you know what, by American military men. Look at Milo. That night she leaped on a train track, causing the train to split her in half. Now she walks around and hunts the streets of Japan at night, unaliving everyone she meets in her way. I forgot the chia seeds and the flax seeds. By the way, guys, the reason you haven't seen Gizmo is because he died. Can we get RIP Gizmo in the chat? Comment below, what should we name our new baby? The highest voted name wins. Now she only has her upper half, so the name Teke Teke comes from when you hear her walking on the ground and her nails hit the ground. If you make eye contact with her, even if you escape, you are said to be cursed and will die in 3 days. That's some good stuff. It is said that if you also hear a story about her, you are also cursed. Shortly after hearing about the legend, she will come to you in a dream or a random phone call and ask you a riddle. If you answer right, she might leave you alone. But if you answer wrong, she will come for you.
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. As you know, this shows a list of the conspiracy theories from the most well-known to the darkest of the dark. Now, me doing all the research is probably going to disturb me, so thanks a lot. And as I'm sure you know by now, in this series we're going to be going from the top to the bottom, so yeah, let's go. Part 4, Apple. Yeah, very weird one. But of course, technology company, you're probably watching this video on an Apple device right now, aren't you? Here is, they've been giving us subtle messages now for a while. So, first of all, the logo, an apple which is half-eaten. Theory goes that this basically goes back to Adam and Eve, and the chunk missing represents watching everyone and the fall of mankind. It makes sense, why didn't they just put up a full apple? The actual theory is that Apple is actually basically watching us and surveying us to see how long it basically takes for mankind to destroy itself. Now this is where it gets even crazier. Theory, pretty creepy anyway. Spell it backwards, iris. Like the iris in your eye, watching you. iPhone. iPhone, as in watching everyone. If that wasn't enough for you, the first ever Apple device sold for $666.66. Crazy. Make sure you hit that follow button, because it's going to get worse.
Animal body parts that are bigger than you think. Horse lungs.
They never bother me. I feel happy and fine. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Well, heart.
I don't need a lot. Coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Why is everyone talking about this woman? It's this woman, 59-year-old Debbie Collier, who was a mother and office manager who was found charred alive in the northeast of Georgia. But while I'm sitting here and I'm, researching this case, it's even stranger than I thought it was. Something is deeply off with this story. So here's what we know. September 10th, she is reported missing, and the following day, her van is found, but she's not inside. So the daughter comes forward. She says that, her mom doesn't have any history of mental illness. She wouldn't be trying to hurt herself. So what happened here? Well, later that day, after the van was found, they go deeper into the woods where Debbie is found on a tarp, described as burned alive. But this was a tarp she bought herself at the Dollar Tree, like shortly before she was found. Stranger than that, her daughter comes forward and says before she was found, her mom Venmo'd her $2,385, along with this cryptic message. Does that not seem like an oddly specific amount, though?